everybody. We are back again for another live. I really didn't think I was going to be going live again today. If you actually watched my last video, okay, let me get myself together. We are hot off the press, brand new document just filed in Britney's case. I am just trying to load up my little chat here. Okay, 0 people are here. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, hey, Tyler. All right, let's just get this in and out, and so we can be done with this. So this was just, oh wait, let me turn my volume down here. This was just filed just now. It just came up on the docket today. Well, I mean, okay, it was filed yesterday, but we're just seeing it today. And it is Britney Spears herself. Of course, Matthew Rosengart probably obviously wrote it, but it's called Conservatee Britney Spears Supplemental Petition for Suspension and Removal of James P. Spears as Conservator of the Estate pursuant to Probate Code Section 2650J. Okay, I have not read this. We're all going to be reading this together live. I don't know why I'm so excited about it, but I am. So here we go. September 29th is what they dated it. Let me just pull this down a little bit. Okay, so after this, me and Sloan may actually end up going live too and just moving up tomorrow's episode to today, but let's see what is actually going to be going on here. So it's like 12 pages long, 9 pages, something like that. So let's get right into it. Introduction. Britney Spears established in her July 26th verified petition for suspension and removal of Jamie that Jamie's suspension and removal were mandated under Probate Code 2650J because as a matter of law, this relief is in the best interests of Britney. Separately, this relief is also in the interests of justice. As the petition also demonstrates, that section that he just quoted does not require Britney to admit fault. Does not require Jamie. Sorry, I've been saying, I wish they would just say Jamie and Britney. Does not require Jamie to admit fault or wrongdoing. Rather, although he has, for more than a decade, evidently engaged in abusive and bullying conduct while also elevating his own personal and financial interests above those of Britney's, these issues of misconduct are not at this time on this petition before the court. The only question before the court, which has unfortunately been lost for years, is whether Jamie's prompt suspension and removal are in the best interests of Britney Spears. Okay, so Matt is saying this is the only thing that matters, and it's real cute because y'all have obviously just forgotten that somehow, some way over the years. The only question is whether him getting removed are in the best interest of Britney. Based on the forceful and compelling June 23rd and July 14th, 2021 testimony of Britney herself, the sworn declaration of Jody. Oh, thank you so much, Dated Slave. Thank you. Oh, look at that little surprised emoji gif. Oh, wait, what does it say? Incredible. Incredible. Thank you, Jaded. So nice. Based on the forceful and compelling testimony that Britney gave, the sworn declaration of Jody, which includes her testimony that, quote, she has had numerous ongoing conversations with the medical team, and they all agree that it would be in Britney's best interest and well-being. It would be best for Britney's well-being and mental health that her father stop being the conservator, basically. And Jody goes on to say it's her strong opinion and recommendation that the people serving as Britney's conservators should not be family members, and that Jamie's removal is critical to Britney's emotional health, well-being, and in the best interest of her. The verified joinder of Montgomery, the declaration and verified joinder of Lynn, and the fact that Britney will not work or perform unless or until Jamie is removed, thereby depriving the estate of income, even as Jamie and others are perversely being enriched from it. The unequivocal answer is yes. Sorry, I lost track of the question. Oh, is it in Britney's best interest for him to be removed? And of course it is. Then he goes on to, okay, let's see, where are we at with this footnote? The footnote says, It has been a strong recommendation by the medical team. So this is stuff we've already read. Okay. Number 4 says, this conclusion, which we respectfully submit, is now clearly inexorable. What's inexorable mean? Is further supported by fundamental principles of law that were completely ignored by Jamie and his attorney in their first response. Oop, doop, who's that? Vivian Lee Thoreen. Mandating Jamie's suspension or removal. So he's saying the fundamental principles of law mandate that he is removed. Thank you so much. How can it not be illegal since Britney never had dementia? It is illegal. This is all a big farce. Jessica, seems like the whole thing was illegal from the jump. It was completely unconstitutional, Jessica. And thank you so much for the tip. Oh, turn up the volume on the microphone. Okay. Can y'all hear it better now? Sorry. Okay. I have it turned up more. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Jadeite lady. Are y'all having trouble hearing? Okay. All right. Let me know if that worked. And thank you too so much. Okay. Consistent with admonitions that the conservator must always act. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Let me find the beginning of this sentence. So he's saying this conclusion, like you have to come to the conclusion that he has to be removed. There's really no question about it. So this is a standard he's using here. Embedded within the statutory framework are consistent admonitions that the conservator must always act in the best interest of the conservatee. See also #FreeBritney and a look at how California conservatees may challenge their conservators, published on August 30th, 2020. The overarching theme of Section 2650 is to ensure that the conservator prioritizes the interests of the conservatee. The purpose of the conservatorship is to fight to protect the conservatee's interest rather than gain control over the conservatee. Let's go ahead and put that one in a yellow highlighter. I like that one. Let's see. All right. The purpose of the conservatorship is to fight to protect the conservatee's interests rather than to gain control over the conservatee. Further, as the Judicial Council, he's citing the Judicial Council as well. As the Judicial Council's Handbook for Conservators provides, the position of the conservator is one of great trust and responsibility. The court and the conservatee are trusting you to follow the law and act in the conservatee's best interest. You should make choices that are in the conservatee's best interest. Number 5, in short, as this court so aptly stated during the July 14th, 2021 hearing in referencing the need to focus on the interests of Britney Spears, Penny said, it's not about anyone else. It's about her. Mr. Spears, that's Jamie, should heed those words. Against this backdrop, Jamie and his counsel's August 12th first response is shameful. Although Jamie concedes that a battle with his daughter over his continuing service would not be in her best interest, thereby effectively he's acknowledging that his departure must be imminent, Jamie spends the overwhelming majority of his brief engaging in inappropriate attacks and finger pointing. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Matthew Rosengart, and I got dragged across the internet for it. I mean, God, yeah. No, that is what they did. He did not step down, and you have all the media, CNN, New York Times, all of these people saying, "Oh, Jamie steps down," and it's like that's confusing and untrue. He didn't step down. In trying to defend himself, he also looks back 13 years, improperly discussing his daughter's mental health issues while outrageously suggesting he should be thanked. This is so satisfying, y'all. Oh, thank you, Amber, because of your time, effort, and patience with helping us understand what's going on. Oh, you're so nice. Thank you, Amber Madison. He definitely went in, y'all. In trying to defend himself, he also looks back 13 years, improperly discussing his daughter's mental health issues while outrageously suggesting that he should be thanked. It is outrageous. I completely agree. The thrust of his response is that although he, one, expressly recognizes that a public battle regarding his departure would not be in Britney's best interest. And 2, for that reason, he even intends to support an orderly transition. His idea of orderly is to hang on until someone first brands him Father of the Year and awards him a gold star for his service. In other words, although Jamie has at last been forced to recognize that it is best for his daughter if he departs. Now, he didn't say that, but he said it's best if he departs at some point. Matthew's playing word games here. I just want to point out here that he didn't actually say it's best for him to depart now. He said it's best for him to depart when the time is right. I'm not coming for Matthew. I'm not attacking. Okay. This is what is called the truth. Sometimes it doesn't always, go the way you want it to go. All right. But it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. But what he's saying is, in other words, although Jamie has at last been forced to recognize that it is best for Britney if he departs at some point. I'm not going to say now because he didn't say that. He claims the right to drag his feet. Oh, thank you, AW Network. Thank you for the donation. You're welcome. So although he has finally basically admitted he does need to go, he claims the right to drag his feet because it is best for him to cling to this conservatorship until he feels sufficiently vindicated. Ooh, scathing. Oh my God. Oh, this is good. Okay, so we're starting. Let's just read that one more time. Oh man, this is so good. It makes me happy. In other words, although Jamie has at last been forced to recognize that it's best for his daughter if he departs, now he claims the right to drag his feet because it's best for him to cling to this conservatorship until he feels sufficiently vindicated. I love this. Okay, number 7. Mr. Spears and his counsel's first response is also based on a complete... Oh, thank you. Oh, Carissa. I appreciate all your posts. It's really helping in actually going over filings. I have worked in the Superior Court of California for over 10 years. Oh, in the family law juvenile divisions. And I had some criminal division. Wow. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for the donation. And it's really good to know that, we have some people who did work in the court. This isn't the same division, of course, but family court, anything in family court, BJ is Rosengart's ghostwriter. I hope he's here now. If you're here now, Matthew, hi, we appreciate this sentence. Although, he didn't really say now, but that's fine. I'm going to let you get away with it. It's all right. Yeah, I like how he also, just real quick, I don't want to scroll, I don't want to lose my place, but I like how he cited a Free Britney article from last year. It was hashtag Free Britney in the name of it. Okay, so number 7, Mr. Spears, so Jamie and Vivian's first response is also based upon a complete misunderstanding of the law because his prior service as conservator is legally irrelevant under the section 2650J's best interest test. Again, y'all remember earlier, if you were here, we were talking about these different tests under the law, like little balancing tests or whatever. So here there's a best interest test in the probate court. And so he's saying all the stuff they were talking about is irrelevant. That's cute, whatever he did in the past, but that has nothing to do with what's in Britney's best interest right now. He's saying, moreover, by once again elevating his interests over his daughter's, it also demonstrates why Mr. Spears must resign or be suspended no later than September 29, 2021. Additionally, this first response supports Britney's position that any legal fees incurred by Jamie in connection with that response should not come from Britney's estate. Then he cites the conservatorship of Lefkowitz and says conservator's attorney's fees to oppose a petition for removal incurred to defend the conservator's character and reputation are not payable from the conservatee's estate. So what he's doing right here is using what's called precedent. It's like a case that's already been decided. So this is the Appeals Court of California that has said in 1996, if a conservator pays a lawyer to oppose a petition for getting removed, and the whole point is to defend his character and reputation, you can't pay for that out of the conservatee's pocket. You got to figure that out yourself, sir. Further, number 8, and critically, while Jamie professes his purported love and support of his daughter, even as he stripped her of her autonomy and dignity and engaged in abusive conduct toward her. Defamation! Oh my God, y'all. Oh, his blood is boiling. I hope he's here right now listening to all of us find this out right now. Further and critically, while the cat is here, can y'all see her? Oh wait, is this? I don't know if you can hear her or see her. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I have to move this cat. Get down. Okay. This is making Jamie so mad. Okay. Further and critically, while Jamie professes his purported love and support for his daughter, even as he stripped her of her autonomy and dignity and engaged in abusive conduct toward her, his first response reveals his true motivations. Ooh, what are they? To receive or make large monetary payments under the pending 12th account. Bingo. There it is, Matthew. There it is. Here's some bullet points. We got 4. Number 1 bullet point. Payment to Mr. Spears from Britney for working with his lawyers to address public media and social media attention, such as reading major television and news articles, social media posts, hi, and global media inquiries and documentary films. Okay, so basically, let's just rewind up to the top. We have Matthew Rosengart saying, Jamie's saying he loves and supports Britney, and that's bullshit, okay? What he's really trying to do is make sure he can get these large sums of money before he's out. Number 1 sum of money, he wants money from Media Matters and reading social media posts, so he shouldn't be getting that. Number 2, payment to Jamie from Britney for continuing to do his best to keep current regarding the music, advertise, and entertainment businesses. And again, I read this whenever we read this together and went over this together, I told y'all this, like, what on earth, all jaded, is showing your cat considered graphic nudity? $5 for kitty treats. Oh, thank you. I'm going to actually get her some kitty treats. I am. I will get it for her, and I will tell her where it came from. Thank you, Jaded Slave. That's so nice. Thank you. I don't know. It may be considered. Who knows these days? Everything is so, censored. So I told y'all last time when we actually read this, I was like, who cares if he did his best? What on earth does that have to do with anything? Okay. Number 3, compensation from Britney in the amount of $1.3 million in attorney's fees to Holland & Knight from October to June. That's not even a year, including an exorbitant and obviously unacceptable $541,000 for Media Matters. Y'all, this is $500,000 for this. Addressing public media and social media attention, major television and news. This is how much they're charging for it. Over $500,000 United States dollars. Okay. And 4th, payment to TriStar Sports and Entertainment from Britney of an exorbitant post-hiatus $500,000. So if you just add these two together, that's $1 million. That's not counting the other like $400,000 or $500,000 that's missing from here and nothing else. We're not talking about Jody, her security, none of that. I mean, it's millions and millions of dollars they're trying to get in their pockets on the way out. Okay. Number 9, further, although Jamie's counsel purports to chastise Britney's current counsel for supposedly, okay, so let's, Mr. Spears' counsel, that's Vivian. So although Vivian purports to chastise means like, if you're from the South, like to like fussing, right? Like scolding, like, ooh, like making it seem like, he did something wrong. Vivian is trying to basically chastise Matthew Rosengart. He's referring to himself as Mrs. Spears' current counsel. That's him, Matthew, right? So although Vivian wants to try and yell at me for allegedly, supposedly failing to recognize that they and Miss Spears were in negotiations, they neglect to mention that those negotiations were unacceptable and unsuccessful. Ooh, tell us more. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Remember to like this. Oh, this is so nice. Y'all are so nice. Okay. I heard you can request for the judge to remove themselves from your case. though they may decline. Isn't something Britney's party should and can do. Okay, Monica, first of all, thank you so much for the $5. I think she can do it. Now, to the extent should she, I really don't know. Because the rules of civil procedure are complicated. I really don't know what Matthew Rosengart might be waiting for. But what I will say is, I know Courtney Love had her judge removed. I think it was Reva Gates at the time, whenever they were trying to put her in some type of conservatorship or whatever. So definitely it's something that can happen and does happen. But I don't exactly know if she should do it or not. I'll have to look into that a little bit more, Monica. Celine, thank you so much. The comment is, remember to like this video. Y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Celine. That is so nice. Y'all are so good to me. Okay. So Matthew here is saying, Vivian wanted to call me out in public, acting like I didn't negotiate with her. Yeah, we did. Sorry. No, wrong. I misinterpreted that. Okay. So what Matt is saying here is, although Vivian is trying to chastise me for failing to recognize that Jamie and Sam Ingham were in negotiations, what Vivian don't mention is those negotiations were unacceptable and unsuccessful. So she wants to talk all about Sam Ingham having, being in negotiations for this thing and that thing. Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. Just have to say thank you so much for always breaking down the court documents and doing so much work for Free Britney. You're a saint. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you for the $5. So basically he's saying Sam Ingham and whatever Jamie and Sam Ingham were doing was unsuccessful anyway. And, having to do with Vivian, it just, none of that, okay, she wanted to hold that against me, but like y'all didn't even come to any good negotiation. Number 10, regardless of the past. Oh, now he wants to move on from the past. Matthew. Regardless of the past, Jamie and his counsel are now on notice. What? On notice for what, Matt? The status quo is no longer tolerable, and Britney Spears will not be extorted. Ooh, take a screenshot of that one. The status now, okay, regardless. Jamie and Vivian, y'all are on notice. The status quo, what y'all been doing, is not acceptable. We're not going to tolerate it. Britney is not going to be extorted. Jamie's blatant attempt to barter suspension and removal in exchange for approximately $2 million in payments on top of the millions already reaped from Britney's estate by Jamie and his associates is a non-starter. Ooh, who calls this guy Zaddy? That is not a word I like, but sir. Finally, contrary to the powers that Jamie and Vivian seek to arrogate onto themselves, they do not get to choose the time and place of Jamie's departure. Those issues are governed by law, the best interest of Britney, and by this court. Suck on that, Vivian. And contrary to the first response claim that there's supposedly no urgent circumstances warranting Jamie's immediate suspension, that too is false. Call him out. Call him out, Matthew. He said y'all are lying. The world heard Britney's courageous and compelling testimony. Britney Spears' life matters. Her well-being matters. Every day matters. There is no basis to wait. I'm about to cry. Like, I want to print out page 5 and just put it on my bulletin board. I feel like I'm just flabbergasted. Like, the status, listen, this is nothing that we haven't been saying, okay? We've been saying this for a while, and some of y'all way longer than me, right? But he's saying, regardless of the past, Jamie and Vivian are on notice. We're not accepting this. The status quo is no longer tolerable. Britney is not going to be extorted. Jamie is blatantly trying to trade off him leaving for $2 million freaking dollars on top of the millions he already made, right? It's not happening. Contrary to the powers that Vivian and Jamie want to act like they have, they don't get the choice of when they leave. That's not even up to him to decide. Just like Jamie said, that's up to the courts of California to decide what's best for my daughter. And you know what? Sure dang is. Sure god dang is. Contrary to the first response claim that there's no urgent circumstances, this is false. The world heard Britney's testimony. Her life matters. Her well-being matters. Every day matters, and there's no basis to wait. Oh my God. I never thought I would read this in a court filing. This is so amazing. And I mean, it's not amazing that it's happening. It's amazing that he's advocating for her like this. Number 13, in short, Jamie's so-called first response. I like how he says so-called, like he's like their little filing is best characterized as a concession. Y'all hear this dog? BJ, your cat barking. Is your cat barking? No, we actually have a dog here. We're dog sitting too. Okay, sorry, I know it's like noisy. This is like an emergency, impromptu, immediate live. In short, this quote first response is best characterized as a concession that he must resign, coupled with the independently removable offense of failing to resign until the time and conditions are right for him, no matter the toll it exacts on his daughter. Having finally acknowledged that his time as conservator should end, Jamie is obligated to step down without condition and without seeking to extract anything further from his daughter. Indeed, Jamie should resign now, and if he does not, the court must suspend him on September 29th. Okay, so now we have a footnote 3. Okay, and then the footnote says, this result will also be a major step toward Britney's path to a fuller and more rewarding life. Okay. Let me catch my breath. Feels like, okay, so what are y'all saying? A lie started this whole thing. Exactly, Butterfly. Britney's life matters. Ingham could never. Oh my God, he could never. Your emotion is the cherry on top. Y'all, I'm literally like, I lost my breath. I don't know. I'm just having tunnel vision. Like me and Sloan are probably going to go live after this just to like decompress. Is Sloan here, by the way? Okay. Next big section. Jamie's first response, again in quotes, I think it's so funny, itself further demonstrates why his immediate suspension and subsequent removal are necessary. Okay, so what he's about to say is, even if none of the stuff I already said was true, just what Jamie said in his response to the petition to remove him is enough to remove him, and he's about to tell us why. Sorry, just situating myself. First, and perhaps most notably for purposes of the pending petition, Jamie's response concedes that much has changed since the conservatorship was implemented in 2008. Oh, really? Is one of the things that has changed, Jamie, that Britney is cured from dementia all of a sudden? Because you definitely had someone say that she had dementia. Okay. So Jamie concedes that much has changed since the conservatorship was started in 2008, and he will cooperate in the transition to a new conservator. He should have stopped there. Yo, Matt, he's funny. I mean, obviously, like a bunch of people probably worked on this, but this is funny. He should have stopped there. He said a bunch has changed and he will cooperate in the transition to a new conservator. He should have stopped there. Wait, I want to go back and watch my video because I'm pretty sure that's what I said too. Like, all right, well then you should just stop there. Instead, which I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, Matthew Rosengart like took this from me. It's pretty obvious freaking next sentence if you have logic. Like it's obvious, like, okay, yeah, then move, then go away. Matt says instead he seeks to extract an improper quid pro quo of preconditions to his exit, which have absolutely nothing to do with Britney, her needs, or her best interest. In other words, although Jamie concedes that stepping down is the right thing to do, he is again trying to put his interests and those of others, Vivian Lee Thorene's law firm, ahead of the interests of his own daughter. Second, Jamie's response is a shameful attempt to redeem his reputation at his daughter's expense. The issue, however, is not about Jamie, his needs, or his image. This would be true in any case. But it is partially true in the context of the pending petition, which is based solely and exclusively on Section 2650J, the Probate Code's discretionary catch-all provision, warranting suspension removal where the relief is in the best interest of the conservatee. Okay. So, like a little bit like a, yeah, okay, whatever. So basically, paragraph 15 says, Jamie's trying to redeem his own personal reputation, and he's trying to build himself up by using Britney's money to do it, right? But it doesn't, like, none of this stuff, like, this isn't about him. This is about the best interest of the conservatee, and that's Britney. Oops. I don't know why I made that green. I mean, it was an accident. Okay. Specifically, while Jamie claims to understand that a public battle with his daughter over his continuing service as conservator would not be in her best interest, his actions speak far louder. Far from extending an olive branch, Jamie's first response is riddled with allegations that are false, stale, have no bearing on current circumstances, and serve no purpose other than hoping to rehabilitate his image while harming Britney. Number 17. Jamie has become so blinded by his own legally irrelevant desire for redemption that, notwithstanding the stringent restrictions of HIPAA, he has gone so far in his filing to discuss alleged details of Britney's mental state. Boom, you violated HIPAA. Under the guise of countering Lynn Spears' declaration, for example, Jamie levies an allegation of Britney's issues and makes gratuitous comments on the amount spent on Britney's medical care, questions whether she understands or remembers what has been done to her, and makes other inapt claims while also attacking conservator of the person, Jody Montgomery. Exactly. So, honestly, everything we said whenever we read that petition, Matthew is saying, I'm so happy. So he's saying, look, listen, like, let's not even get into the fact that he probably violated HIPAA when he said Britney had mental health issues. He's also, trying to attack Lynn by talking about how much was spent there and some issues, making comments. Like, all this stuff is irrelevant, legally irrelevant, right? Why did he do all that, right? This is just another reason why he sucks, basically. Not only are Jamie's self-serving contentions irrelevant to the petition, they are a quintessential indicator of an unhealthy conservator-conservatee and conservator-conservator relationship. And he's saying this can no longer be sustained. Indeed. Any words in Jamie's first response other than, I recognize it is in Britney's best interest that I resign and I hereby do, are unnecessary, damaging, and a further indicator of his unfitness to serve. If Jamie truly feels he is a target of unjustified attacks, he can bring an end by doing the gracious, right, and necessary thing by resigning without attempting to extort conditions on his departure. Vivian, shameful that she even filed that crap with the court. Relatedly, there's no reason that Jamie's requested transition cannot occur after he resigns, right? So we don't have to go through all this transition before he leaves. He can leave and he can help with the transition. Third, Jamie's response is also illustrative, or kind of like demonstrates why, consistent with his departure, the time has come to chart a course for Britney's freedom. And the crowd goes wild. Oh man, we need to chart a course to Britney's freedom. Jamie's observations about his daughter in his purported defense, which, once again, is legally irrelevant under Section 2650J, actually demonstrates that Britney is perfectly capable of giving an accurate opinion as to whether Jamie should remain in his post, right? So basically, he's using Jamie's words against him and saying, he said Britney did all this stuff and said all this stuff. Well, all he did was prove that we need to chart a course toward her being free. For example, Jamie notes that Britney has maintained her career while recording and performing worldwide, understands her personal obligations, and has not been coerced to do anything, is strong, and stands up for herself. These truths are not reason to laud Britney. They are reason to honor her request to be released from under the thumb of her father. Not even Jamie denies that this conservatorship is, in fact, exhausting and terrifying to Britney. He accepts this as a fact and dismisses her experience as the reality of being under a conservatorship. Tell them, Matthew. Oh my God, this is so good. Not even Jamie denies that this conservatorship is actually exhausting and terrifying to Britney. He accepts this as a fact, and then he dismisses it and says, well, that's the reality of being under a conservatorship. I can just literally envision Vivian sitting at her computer typing that too. But the exhaustion and terror are not the goals of a conservatorship, a state-imposed mechanism that should be a last resort. Oh, thank you, my Robert, auditory processing friend. And how does he remember what happened the past 2 years? Wasn't he supposedly in a grave state? Right. Oh, right. Exactly. It's like when it's convenient for him, he was in the hospital. His colon was busting open. But whenever it comes down to knowing what's best for Britney, he was there 24/7, 7 days a week. Like, okay, sir, if you say so. Exhaustion and terror are not the goals of a conservatorship. This is going to be in a law school textbook one day. Exhaustion and terror are not the goals of a conservatorship. A state-imposed mechanism that should be a last resort. Jamie's distorted views of a functional conservatorship further support his suspension and removal. The fact that Jamie views his daughter's own experience as a necessary evil of a conservatorship shows exactly how far off the rails this conservatorship has gone and as far as he is concerned. Okay, I do want to point one little thing out. 10 out of 10, good job, Matthew, and all that. But I would be remiss not to just mention, like, he's kind of qualifying this a lot. Like, Matthew is saying a lot of, like, this conservatorship has gone off the rails or whatever. Okay, period. The end. Like, not no in as far as he is concerned. Because it ain't just him. It's the courts. It's the all plural judges, 3 of them. It's the court reporters. It's investigators. It's all these people. It ain't just in as far as he is concerned, sir. It is the whole thing. The conservatorship is off the rails. Period. Like, this right here should have just been deleted. Y'all should have left that on version whatever was before this. All right. 21. Finally. Yeah, okay. So, you can't get your head around the dementia claim because she don't have dementia and it was a lie. And it was a very, very lucrative lie because look how much millions they've made. Finally, it is again worth mention that Jamie spends 7 pages of his response airing grievances with Lynn Spears in a needless and mean-spirited sideshow. Lynn Spears does indeed support Jamie's suspension and removal, but the petition must be granted regardless of her views. As the petition made abundantly clear, it is Jamie's independent, adverse impact on his daughter's life, well-being, and best interests that requires him to be removed. That Jamie would use this solemn occasion to pick one more fight with his ex-wife, the mother of his daughter, speaks volumes. Yes, it does. And listen, I really don't care what you have to say about Lynn Spears, one way or the other. Everybody is allowed to their opinion. But Jamie mentioning her was irrelevant and useless in that context. Number 3. Mr. Spears, Jamie's requested preconditions to resignation are self-interested and constitute an unacceptable and extortionate quid pro quo. So he's literally open-faced in the public eye accusing him of extortion. Lest there be any confusion about certain matters that Jamie wants to resolve before his departure, his first response indicates that his voluntary resignation will be contingent upon, at the least, the approval of his latest accounting, including attorney's fees that he has incurred, and a substantial payment from Britney to certain third parties, including TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. Lou Taylor probably hates being mentioned in all these documents. One can certainly theorize as to why Jamie wants to ensure payment to certain third parties while he perceives he still has leverage to extract concessions. But The reasons for his audacious desire to divert conservatorship assets to himself and others are at this time beside the point. Oh my God. Christine, thank you so much. Christine says, this is brilliant, but I'm concerned Jamie might have moved Britney's money to an offshore account. If so, how can she ever get it back? There are accountants out there called forensic accountants who, this is kind of like what they do. Like they chase down money that might have been lost. So I'm hoping they're able to find it in that way. And if they can't, then he's going to be held responsible for it. Some way, shape, or form. Listen, I don't know if Jamie Spears has any ability to actually earn money. Like, I don't know what can he, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be too mean about it, but I don't know what he can really do, Christine. I don't know how he's going to pay it back if he lost it. But I wonder what this is about. One can certainly theorize why Jamie wants to ensure payment to certain third parties while he perceives he still has some leverage to extract concessions. This is like legal version of slapping someone around. But the reasons for his audacious desire to divert conservatorship assets to himself and others are beside the point. He's like, okay, listen, we can get into the reasons why he's trying to do this, but it's honestly just beside the point. Because when it comes to the petition, all that matters is one thing, a single central fact that is undisputed even by Jamie. And that fact is his resignation or immediate suspension if he fails to resign is in Britney's best interests. Given the above, Jamie has no right to condition his departure on improper and extortionate demands for payment or blanket immunity. Oh, hold on. How you just gonna throw this in here, Matt? Did y'all see anything about blanket immunity in the filing? Because I did not. Oh, Angel, I thought most of her money was in a trust. It was, but they manage the trust too. It's all been being managed all together. Thank you so much, Angel, Nicole. There is a bond on Jamie for $50 million so she can get part of the money. Right. He does have a bond. That is true too. Good pointing that out. And Mag. Susie, the legal version of slapping someone around. So do y'all remember seeing anything about blanket immunity? What on earth? I don't remember him saying anything about immunity. Given the above, Jamie has no right to condition his departure on improper and extortionate demands for payment or blanket immunity? You just snuck that one in there right on in there, didn't you? Instead, the only honorable, decent, and humane course of action is for Jamie to resign now, provide all necessary information to evaluate his accounting, and if matters cannot be resolved consensually, to try to defend his accounting. And he's going to have to pay for that out of his own pocket. Once again, however, and importantly, that defense is for a later day and a different proceeding. And Jamie's effort to confuse and conflate these issues and extract a quid pro quo must be rejected. So Jamie's basically trying to come out and say, I'll leave, but first we have to do this accounting. I don't know what this blanket immunity is about. What on earth? I don't remember reading anything about immunity, him asking for immunity. I don't know what that is. But he's basically saying, look, Jamie's coming here and talking about all this other stuff, and none of that matters. It's going to matter. But right now, all we need to know is his resignation or immediate suspension, if he fails to resign, is in Britney's best interest. And that's what Matt Rosengart's whole argument is. Here's his conclusion. If ever there were any doubts as to whether Jamie must be summarily suspended and removed, and there should have been no such doubts. This is such a me thing to say. If ever there were any doubts, and you shouldn't have had doubts, his faithless and misguided first response puts all those doubts to rest. It is now self-evident that Jamie is so myopically focused on his own interests that even as he is in effect uttering the words, "You can't fire me, I resign," he cannot help but contemplate and promote the next steps, best steps for himself. And then here we do have a footnote I skipped and forgot to read. Okay, so this is the footnote. Although also an issue for another day, Jamie's willingness to toss estate dollars at others is nothing new. As noted in Britney's objections to Jamie's 12th account, Jamie readily and unilaterally approved a new flat fee arrangement for TriStar, a windfall from TriStar's perspective, and a retroactive gratuitous payment equating to an approximate 260% raise above what TriStar otherwise was going to be entitled to receive. Oh, yes. Oh, Carissa. Thank you. Okay. What? A change of venue request to Ventura County, where she has lived for many years, is in the past interest and also would give a new judge without offending the current one. Yeah, someone else earlier, Carissa, said something about moving to Ventura. And then someone else after that said, well, Amanda Bynes' conservatorship is in Ventura County. So maybe they're just as bad over there. Thank you so much for the $15. That's so nice. That's so generous. Okay. Emily Baker said it's unlikely they move to Ventura because it would take a lot of unnecessary effort. Yeah, it would also take time. It would take money. They would have to... It's probably unlikely. But listen, you can always like think of these things, and we should be thinking them through and thinking them out, but who knows what Rosengart's going to do. But y'all, okay, do you see this? This is the second time he just like throws TriStar under the bus in a footnote. Although it's an issue for another day, Jamie's willingness to just toss Britney's money around to third parties is nothing new. Look, an accountant reported conservator, he readily and unilaterally... Sorry, reading a text message I got. He readily and unilaterally approved a new flat fee for TriStar, a windfall from their perspective, and retroactive gratuitous payment equating to an approximate 260% raise above what they otherwise would have been entitled to receive. And remember, Britney was not working and hadn't been working for at least a year, maybe even 2 years, whenever this was approved. Number 26. Britney has already provided the court with many examples of Jamie's bullying and his efforts to strip her of certain fundamental rights, as well as the harm his service has had on her well-being. For these reasons, and those set forth herein and in the pending petition, Britney renews her request for the relief contained in the petition, including immediate suspension. A transition can just as easily occur while Jamie is suspended, opposed as to while he lingers as conservator, waiting for his inevitable removal. The only difference is that the former is in his daughter's best interest, while the latter severely undermines those interests. Wrong, Matthew. There's one more. There is one more difference, and that is every month he sits here in this position, he's making $16,000 a month. So he don't need to be making $16,000 a month for this transition. He needs to be making $0 a month because he's already made plenty. But I mean, I'm just being pedantic. It's true. The former, is him just leaving. Transition can happen while he's suspended, as opposed to while he's just lingering. The only difference is one's in his daughter's best interest and lingering is not. For now, before Jamie engages in further attacks on Britney, once again discusses his purported views of her mental state, or files another response that would only serve to demonstrate his lack of sensitivity and fidelity, while also bolstering the petition and providing further evidence that he, not the estate, will be liable for attorney's fees. Although his departure is a foregone conclusion. That's a real long sentence, Matthew. Mr. Spears should simply agree to resign immediately. Under the circumstances, that would be the legally correct, decent, and graceful thing to do. Oh, man. Y'all, I am shocked. Not really, but it's just so amazing to read some of this stuff in these filings. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is sign off of here, and then I'm going to go live with Sloan on his channel to kind of discuss this. Because we were going to do that tomorrow anyway. We're going to discuss like the document from USA Today lawyer, Christopher Melcher. But I think what I'm going to do now is hop off of here, finish eating my quesadilla from Taco Bell, and then you can catch me for the Q&A on Sloan's channel. Thank y'all so much for coming here and joining and all of the comments and all of that. Do make sure that you have your notifications on for this, because like I don't really stick to any kind of schedule. Like when stuff like this drops, I just come on and start reading just like I did today. So make sure you have your notifications on for this, and I'm going to be doing the same type of thing as we're moving forward through the case. Oh, thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Okay, yes, Sony is the devil, and that'll be my last comment on this. So I will talk to y'all just real soon. I'm going to be on Sloane's channel probably in the next, like, hopefully few minutes, but I would assume like in the next like 30 for sure. I will talk to y'all soon. So excited. Thank you. Oh, Isaac. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Isaac Robinson, for the $20. That's so nice. Okay, so I am going to hop off of here now and see y'all very soon. Facts ain't defamation. Good job, Matt Rosengart.